Hello guys, welcome back to LR Anime. Guys, please like the video and subscribe to my channel. Today is explanation of upcoming episode of Swallowed Star based on novel. So let's start. Luo Feng took off for godly King Valley. Meanwhile, in the faraway primal universe where the human territory was, within the primal secret region, undulating waves constantly rippled throughout the vast remote ocean. How endless and boundless! After more than 8 million years, the volume of the vast remote ocean, compared to its volume back when the humans and the United Forces Alliance had been engaged in war, was now exponentially greater. The endless remote ocean had such a commanding presence within the primal secret region that every great being who came to the primal secret region was shocked and amazed by it. This is the endless remote ocean. Endless remote ocean? It is one of the godly bodies divided from the main body of the legendary noble, Milky Way Horde leader. It is said that, back during the war, close to 1,000 universe masters from the United Forces Alliance joined forces to attack Luo Feng, but no one could do anything to this Milky Way Horde leader. How? How big must it be? Such a big godly body. Even if it continues to blaze its godly power, the time taken for the entire godly body to be completely consumed will definitely be very long. A spaceship flew along the length of the sky of the endless remote ocean. In that spaceship, there were some undying fighters and sector lords who were looking out from where they were. They were gazing at the endless remote ocean, and all of them were feeling very excited. In a long period of over 8 million years, the human race's status within the primal universe had become even higher than before. This was because small-scale skirmishes between the human camp and United Forces camp had been ongoing. It was common for a great many sector lords, undying fighters, and knights to engage in battle. Occasionally, there would also be battles between universe masters. Regarding the news about the war, the human race would have made it widespread so that the human sector lords and undying fighters would be filled with fighting spirit and confidence. Furthermore, under the deliberate guidance of the human race, the generations of new and upcoming sector lords and undying fighters would never forget the names Primal Chaos City Leader and Milky Way Horde Leader. Probably those sector lords and undying fighters were not really clear on what it meant to be a universe supreme master, but there was one thing they were all clear on: within the entire human race, the most important and most powerful two existences were Primal Chaos City Leader and Milky Way Horde Leader. The two of them were powerful pillars of support for the entire human race. This other body of the noble Milky Way Horde leader, exactly how big is it? The endless remote ocean is said to be constantly expanding. Previously, I received information that the diameter exceeded 1 trillion kilometers. Now, it is surely going to be much bigger than that. Everyone was engaged in a heated discussion. An undying emperor who was driving this spaceship, a lean yet thin man with a head full of golden scales, spoke up. The endless remote ocean body of our noble Milky Way Horde leader is currently at a diameter that exceeds 2 light years. 2 light years. Wow. That is a really massive godly body. Back then, close to 1,000 universe masters worked together, yet they were still unable to harm Milky Way Horde leader. Now, he must be invincible. Invincible. The numerous sector lords and undying fighters were all in awe and filled with admiration for Milky Way Horde leader. The spaceship flew across the sky of the endless remote ocean while everything else remained as peaceful as ever within remote ocean. At the moment, the emphasis on the cultivation of human talent was greatly increased, especially after the knowledge of the ancient civilization was transferred over to the human race. Therefore, sector lords and undying fighters were frequently sent to the primal secret region for cultivation and training, or sent to Primal Chaos City for cultivation. In short, the sight that greeted anyone who happened to pass by the endless remote ocean would definitely leave one astounded. At that moment, in the deep central region of endless remote ocean, there was a vacuum with a diameter of around 10 billion kilometers. In here, not a single drop of ocean water could be found. It was as though the core of the entire endless remote ocean was a gigantic bubble, and within this vacuum, a great number of items hung suspended in the air. All kinds of metals, minerals, soils, and liquids. Within a diameter of 10 billion kilometers, how vast a region would that be? Yet this region was almost filled to capacity. It could be said that every kind of substance that could possibly be found within the primal universe was present here, whether they were existing substances found normal to star traveler level, neutron star, black holes, and many other places, or mysterious substances like special life forms of seeds of life and undying trees, or even a portion of the corpses of billions of life forms from the billions of different races found within the universe and corpses of special life forms. The dead and the living were present here, from the primal universe, from the universe ocean, and even from the world of Jinn. 1 trillion types of metals. 1 trillion types of special energy bodies. 1 trillion types of plants. Every single kind of substance. To every single living life form. They ranged from beings as minuscule as single-celled organisms to as complex as a whole universe masters or true god corpses. Even that drop of godly blood from the pair of white wings, which Shawu wings had forced out of itself. All of these things were stored here. Inherited technique, create. An inherited technique was executed again. Suddenly, everything within the region seemed to fall into a peculiar domain, and this domain was unobtainable through cultivation. It was a kind of domain that was naturally brought about during the execution of the inherited technique create. Anything placed within this peculiar domain would be speedily analyzed, and it would also analyze the life origin of whatever was being analyzed. Such a large quantity of countless metals and plants, especially the large amount of true God's blood, scales, and many more from the world of Jinn. I really hope that this time around, I stand to gain big time. Luo Feng held high hopes, looking forward with incomparable eagerness. Previously, taking the godly power route, he was stuck at the bottleneck, mainly because there were too few true God's life forms to be analyzed. Although there might be one drop of powerful godly blood, that drop was too high-end, any analysis of it could not be understood. Soundlessly, those drops of blood, pieces of scales to strands of hair suspended in the air were continuously being analyzed, and the most fundamental structure composing the life origin appeared before Luo Feng. How complex! It was more mysterious than the Rhinoceros Emperor game, far exceeding any Rhinoceros Emperor game that Luo Feng had researched. After all, this was the life composition of a true god. Fortunately, Luo Feng did not need thorough research. All that was required of him was to find the difference between the structures of a true god and a universe master. From there, he could change his own life structure to increase his life gene level. Ha! So much true god's blood, scales, and hairs. How very satisfying. In an instant, Luo Feng discovered millions and billions of concepts, but none of these concepts were destined to be suitable for him. Asterisk. While the endless remote ocean was analyzing samples, Golden Horned Beast was in the world of Jinn, hiding within the space of cultivation of the space of inheritance as it maintained time acceleration at a rate of 10,000 times. It was also training. Godly power, breakdown. Golden Horned Beast Luo Feng made a move in his mind. Suddenly, one of Golden Horned Beast's clawed hooves broke down into a large quantity of godly power that was suspended over the surroundings. Life, recombine. The internal life composition within his godly power was instantly controlled and modified by Luo Feng. It was as though he was making changes to his life genes. Previously, the gene level had been perfect, and the life structure was stable. It was difficult to break through and surpass. Recombination of godly power failed. Trying again, having gained such a large amount of true God's blood, scales, and hairs over time, Luo Feng was bound to develop a great deal of thoughts and concepts. Naturally, he would want to constantly put these through trials, and through these trials and experiments, he could probe the mysteries of life. Failed. Recombination has failed. Every failure was experience gained. All paths eventually led to the same ending. Life origin was one of the kinds of origin that had come into existence due to the evolution of the universe, and it contained the ultimate mysteries. Starting out from such a godly power route would be greatly beneficial to Luo Feng's ability to create secret techniques. Time passed, but with time accelerated to 10,000 times within the space of cultivation, 160 went by in the blink of an eye. I will succeed. I have a strong feeling that I am about to succeed. Previously, I only missed by a little bit. Life, recombine. The clawed hoof of golden horned beast, which had settled down within the space of cultivation, had transformed into a tremendous amount of godly power. This godly power was rapidly going through a change. The innermost structure of its origin was undergoing a change. Buzz. Everything ceased moving. Luo Feng also stopped controlling and eventually came to a stop. If he failed, then his godly power, which the origin had changed, would rapidly be broken down and then be returned to its original form. If he managed to stabilize its existence, that might possibly mean success. After all, even if he did manage to stabilize it, the new structure of life origin might not necessarily exceed the limit of perfection. It might, on the contrary, even be reduced. For instance, it could reach 9,800 times life gene level. It has stabilized. Luo Feng was delighted. Level of godly power. Luo Feng carefully felt his godly power. This was a new godly power, a godly power that was so strong that it carried a sharp keenness as though it might attack at any moment. Luo Feng was able to make a rough judgment instantly and was delighted. 16,000 times. I've succeeded. I have broken through the bottleneck of perfect gene level. If he had continued to study about law masters and the other countless substances, perhaps he might have achieved a breakthrough. But that was too difficult. A true god's life origin was obviously far superior, and it had inspired Luo Feng with countless ideas and provided him with an untold number of possible routes. After being stuck at a bottleneck for more than 8 million eras, now, in a situation where he had enough true god's blood, scales, and hair samples, all he required was slightly more than 100 years to achieve a breakthrough. Godly body, recombine. Golden horned beast Luo Feng let out a low growl. Hong. The entire golden horned beast disassembled with a loud crash and transformed into a mighty godly power. Shortly after, a large amount of godly power rapidly condensed back to form a golden horned beast. This new one may have looked the same as the former, but its aura was obviously much stronger. Godly body, recombine. Luo Feng's earthling original body, in the boat of Mausoleum, instantly underwent a recombination of his godly body. Its life gene level soared to 16,000 times right away. The quality was increased, no doubt, but its godly body was reduced as a result. Only 60% of his earthling original body's godly body remained. Recharge. Golden horned beast rapidly charged up the supply of godly power, allowing the earthling original body to speedily recover to a state of 100% godly body. This feeling is wondrous. Luo Feng revealed his delight. He felt as if his godly body was all revved up, and even the distant god country was itching to make a move. His godly body had become more powerful and thus, was able to accommodate a more powerful god country. His god country would only need to expand once more. Then it could immediately evolve into a miniature universe. This all implied that so long as Luo Feng was willing, he could bring his god country to evolve into a miniature universe. And thereafter, his godly body would zoom its way up to an increase of 100 times. Then he would enter the true god stage. Now, it was merely 16,000 times life gene level. It was still far from Luo Feng's personal expectations. Rather, this level was not a great help to his ability. After all, the godly power route consisted of 3 levels of godly body. Achieving 30,000 times would be considered the first level, and this was when the height of godly body could surge tenfold. Yet now, Luo Feng could not even bring his godly body to undergo an outburst in height. Haha. I just obtained these true god scales and blood, and I am able to achieve 16,000 times right away. Luo Feng was now full of confidence. He had spent more than 100 years in the space of cultivation. In actuality, however, Luo Feng was on board his boat of Mausoleum and heading for Godly King Valley, and only 4 days had passed in the outside world. Luo Feng still required more than a month's time to be able to arrive at the faraway Godly King Valley. Half a month later, maneuvering and controlling his silver battleship, Luo Feng spotted the vast continent that was right in the middle of the endless ocean. Godly King Valley was the name of that continent. We've arrived. Luo Feng's attention was temporarily shifted away from cultivation. He was about to embark on an incomparably dangerous mission to receive a title. On board the silver battleship, He looked down at the vast continent in the distance. As the ship closed the distance via a long-distance teleportation, the faraway continent soon came clearly into view. This vast continent was named Godly King Sector. Technically speaking, there were 5 major continents in the world of Jinn. The East Army, the West Army, the North Army, and the South Army each commanded a vast expanse of land and a part of the ocean. On the vast ocean, there were many islands scattered all over, and the biggest among them all was Godly King Sector. Furthermore, it was the place of residence of His Majesty the Godly King, so naturally, it had a unique status, even though its size was far from comparable to the other 4 continents. Because of its unique status, it was regarded as one of the 5 major continents. Godly King Sector. Luo Feng looked down. At first glance, the entire continent was covered with undulating mountains and lakes. The breathtaking view was quite a sight to behold. Huh! Luo Feng felt a sudden jolt of shock. Those countless rolling, undulating mountains looked like numerous lore engravings. Even the lakes resembled nodes. Just by looking down at the entire Godly King Sector, Luo Feng could feel countless mysteries surging into his mind. Yet they were so mysterious that they were far beyond what Luo Feng could understand or comprehend at his current level. That's right. Luo Feng nodded. Based on the information I have gathered, Godly King Sector was, after all, the place of residence of Godly King. Normally, living souls of the world of Jinn would not be allowed access in here. I have applied for a mission to receive a title. That's why I am allowed access within the period of this era. The place of residence of the Godly King. How could there not be special formation, secret techniques, and the like, enough to hold all underlings in shock and awe? Luo Feng laughed. Just like how many important grounds within the primal secret region would reverse time and space to plant dangers around the land, there would certainly be extraordinary traps if His Majesty the Godly King of the world of Jinn was personally responsible for the dangers. Just as Luo Feng was maneuvering the boat of Mausoleum to maintain flying in the sky, a lone figure suddenly appeared out of nowhere on the vast land below. Soon, this figure was flying toward Luo Feng at high speed. An angry command was transmitted. On the grounds of Godly King Sector, trespassing is prohibited. Stop. The voice seemed to come in rolling waves. Suddenly, the surrounding time and space around the boat of Mausoleum seemed to be isolated from the outside world. There was no way the ship could attempt to escape. A true god of void space. Luo Feng was taken aback. Luo Feng exited through the cabin doors of the boat of Mausoleum and directed his introduction to a faraway spot. I am Milky Way, a warrior from Python River Army of the East Army. Because I am assigned with a mission to receive a title, I have come to Godly King Sector. Warrior Milky Way. The true god of void space took one look in the distance and carefully surveyed what he saw, then. Everything in the surrounding time and space resumed normality. Follow me, the true god of the void space beckoned. Luo Feng put away the boat of Mausoleum and flew over without further delay. Before this true god of void space, he entertained no other thoughts. After all, considering the power of a true god of void space, even if he put in his all, he would still be hunted down and killed. Of course, it would be wiser to be obedient. As he flew over, Luo Feng took the chance to observe this true god of void space. He was a tribal warrior, meaning it was a humanoid life form with a dark, golden body that seemed to be cast in bronze. It had 6 ears and a pair of eyes that radiated red light. Even while standing amid the void space, it exuded an arrogant and domineering aura. Milky Way pays respect to you, my lord. Luo Feng bowed reverentially upon flying close. I am one of the guards of Godly King Sector. I am North Kang, the true god of void space said right away. If you want to carry out your mission to receive a title, then do follow me. I will bring you to Godly King Valley. Without my lead, you will not be able to arrive at Godly King Valley. Understood, Luo Feng replied. With North Kang, the guard of Godly King Sector, leading the way, both traveled via an extremely long-distance teleportation as they made their way to Godly King Valley. My lord, North Kang. The more Luo Feng gazed at the sight below, the more mysterious he found it. I feel that Godly King Sector continent seems to have lore engravings everywhere. Does that mean there is danger everywhere? North Kang, the guard, took one look at Luo Feng and revealed a rare smile. You are right. The Godly King Sector continent is indeed fraught with danger. This continent is, after all, beyond huge. If a large number of law masters and true gods were left free to roam about, even with quite a handful of guards, it will still be impossible to look out for every single one of them. But the moment they are caught trespassing, they will be in danger of imminent annihilation. This is the exact reason why, normally, no one will dare to enter the Godly King Sector. Luo Feng nodded. The information he had obtained also included a prohibition against trespassing. Death awaited all intruders. As for the law engravings found everywhere, North Kang, the guard, sighed, because the whole of Godly King Sector is actually a super-automaton-type true treasure that was created by His Majesty the Godly King. Automaton-type true treasure? Luo Feng was dumbfounded. A true treasure or a supreme piece of a valuable one that could be regarded as an automaton-type true treasure by true gods of void space of the world of Jinn would be something that other valuables within Universe Ocean would not be able to hold a candle to. Such a large automaton-type true treasure? Luo Feng was dumbfounded. The length of the universe boat was around 100 million light-years. This Godly King Sector continent was, after all, one of the 5 major continents. Even though it was barely comparable to the other 4 continents, its diameter was certainly more than 1 billion light-years. How could such a majestic and resplendent continent turn out to be an automaton-type true treasure? Ha. His Majesty the Godly King was most highly skilled in automaton-type treasures. North Kang, the guard, sighed as a great sense of pride swept through him. This Godly King Sector continent was merely an experimental product that His Majesty the Godly Kind left behind. His Majesty still has a true Godly King Sector, and that true treasure followed him on his various expeditions as he roamed about endless worlds with ease. He was simply unrivaled. Luo Feng held his breath. Previously, he had seen that humanoid life form. Given that the humanoid life form was so massive, for it to be able to come up with such an outrageous automaton-type true treasure was nothing out of the ordinary. If that massive object really was His Majesty the Godly King, then why has he been reduced to this state? Even his world of Jinn became easily accessible by universe masters and true gods from our universe ocean. Yet his people from the world of Jinn will die the moment they step out? Luo Feng felt that Universe Ocean and the world of Jinn seemed to be at odds with one another. And Universe Ocean had the upper hand. The living souls of Universe Ocean could enter world of Jinn, but living souls from the world of Jinn were unable to enter Universe Ocean. Chatting while on the move, they soon arrived at their destination above a beautiful mountain valley. This is Godly King Valley. North Kang, the guard, pointed down where there was a beautiful and incomparably tranquil valley. Back when His Majesty the Godly King was here in Godly King Sector, this was where he often stayed in Godly King Valley. I have conveyed the news of your arrival. Let the guard of Godly King Valley know when you get there. They will not stop you. Thank you, North Kang, my lord, Luo Feng said. Also, that 9-story tower. North Kang, the guard, pointed at the highest building within Godly King Valley. That is Wu Chi Tower. Move along. I hope you are able to complete the mission to receive a title, and make it out alive. Then, while shaking his head, North Kang teleported and disappeared. Luo Feng looked at the 9-story tower and thought, make it out alive? Not only must I make it out alive, but I must also find out why, since time immemorial, no law master has been able to make it to the top. I must find out what might stop me. Luo Feng, ever so proud and confident, would not lose confidence just because of the dangers of a mission to receive a title. If he lacked the confidence, he would not have come. Luo Feng flew over without further ado. Security was very tight in the Godly King Valley. However, the guards knew that Luo Feng was entering as someone who was here to carry out a mission to receive a title, so they did not stop him. All they did was convey one message to him via voice transmission. In Godly King Valley, flying is prohibited. Therefore, Luo Feng moved about on foot while in Godly King Valley. He walked over to Wu Chi Tower without delay. Wu Chi Tower, taller than 1,000 light-years, was the tallest building in Godly King Valley. At the bottom of this towering building, There were 6 figures. One of the 6 figures entrenched over there, a single-horned beast, ordered in a low voice, "Warrior, come here." This single-horned beast was the only true god in the area. The other 5 figures were law masters. As Luo Feng made his way over, his eyes swept across his surroundings. "You are the 6th law master of this batch," the single-horned beast growled. "According to the rules, every 10 warriors must enter Wu Chi Tower together. Now, in the Wu Chi Tower, there is a total of 3 batches. You are the 4th, but first, you have to wait. You will enter when we have 10 warriors here." Luo Feng nodded to indicate that he understood. On this grassland, the other 5 warriors were at ease. They were either standing, sitting, or even lying sprawled on the ground. That would be the Beast Warrior. "Python River Army? You are from the East Army?" A warrior walked over. He was a tall, skinny, strange-looking warrior with a black beard. He was clad in battle armor that had bizarre beast patterns, and his helmet also had the pattern of a roaring beast head. "You are from Sleeping Dragon Army?" Luo Feng asked with a smile. Sleeping Dragon Army was also a special army troop of the East Army. "I am Xu Zhong from Sleeping Dragon Army," said the tall, skinny warrior, introducing himself. "I am Milky Way from Python River Army," said Luo Feng, likewise introducing himself. That tall, skinny warrior expressed his friendly intentions, but he lamented. "The other 4 warriors are all from other armies, not from our East Army. Fancy meeting someone from the East Army here. How delightful. Which major troop from the Python River Army are you from? This is my first time seeing you." "I am a new recruit," Luo Feng said casually. The moment this was said, the tall, skinny warrior let out a trace of shock. Even the other 4 warriors who were not too far away expressed some interest. A new recruit. A realization struck Xu Zhong. "No wonder I have never seen you before. You must have just joined within the past few eras. The number of special army troops in our East Army are not many to start with, and I know the majority of the outstanding ones. For you to be able to make it here to execute this mission for receiving a title, you must be someone with extremely strong powers. I believe that soon enough, you will make a name for yourself throughout the various special army troops of the East Army." Luo Feng laughed. Entering Wu Chi Tower was extremely dangerous, and since they were all from the East Army, he knew he should get well acquainted with this warrior. Perhaps this might be helpful to him when he was in Wu Chi Tower. In the blink of an eye, almost 6 days had passed. Warriors had been arriving in succession. "We have 10 warriors," growled the single-horned beast true god. "You all will be the 4th batch of warriors to enter Wu Chi Tower this time. A prior warning to you all, presently, within Wu Chi Tower, more than half of the warriors from the 3rd batch are dead. I hope I will be able to see you all again, walking out of here alive." The 10 warriors were shocked. More than half from the previous batch were dead. Even Luo Feng was astounded. Those who dared to come here would certainly be the absolute elites from the 4 armies. From afar, the towering doors were as tall as a few hundred light years. They were slowly starting to open up with a rumble. The towering doors radiated dazzling, colorful lights, which made it difficult for Luo Feng and company to look straight at it. An endless oppressive force was spreading out from within Wu Chi Tower. "Go in," the single-horned beast true god said. "This video will end here.